When it comes to mainline Mario Kart, there are 284 tracks that you can play from since Super Mario Kart, not including the spin off games. So, with the most recent Booster Course Pass wave revealing, it came to me, why not just rank every single Mario Kart track? And that's what I did. I ranked all 284. So, without further ado, this is part one, my least favorite tracks in the whole series. Starting off with number 284, SNES Mario Circuit 3. I haven't made it a shock that I am not a big fan of SNES Mario Circuit 3. And I don't see anyone out there in the world saying, "Oh, I should go to jail for saying SNES Mario Circuit 3 is the worst track in the whole series." I can imagine most people actually would agree with me on this more than people advocating for my head to be chopped off. SNES Mario Circuit 3 is by far and away the most boring track in not just Super Mario Kart, but the entire series. As for why I've ranked it 284th. 283 NS Peach Gardens. As you will know from now on, I will refer to tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as NS instead of Wii U because I firmly believe that they're not going to call the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks for the next Mario Kart game Wii U and not, a Switch. So I just went for NS. As the reason why DS Beach Gardens is so low compared to many other people is because I personally hate the fact that on lap 3, the lap changes. That is my least favorite aspect of the whole Booster Course Pass, which leads to 282 being NS and 64 Calamari Desert. I could have put them higher because I genuinely like the track, aside from the third and in Calamari Desert case second lap, but I genuinely can't forgive them for that so much that I put them in 283rd and 202nd respectively. I understand why you would have a different opinion because, you know, they're still good tracks, but I just can't forgive them for making the route change. As for why I think Peach Gardens is worse, is because I was actually hoping that it would be included in the Booster Course Pass, so it just crushed my heart a little seeing the third lap change. That's really the only reason why it's ranked below Calamari Desert. 281 Wii SNES Mario Circuit 3. Now, I don't know if you'd say that just because my least favorite track was SNES Mario Circuit 3, that the remakes also have to automatically suck. But it is the case here with Wii SNES Mario Circuit 3, and you're going to see it a little bit with most of the SNES Mario Circuit 3 remakes, more like all of them. But Wii SNES Mario Circuit 3, it's more like the track isn't bad, but it's just more disappointing that they would bring this one back instead of Mario Circuit 4. I would understand why not Mario Circuit 2, because who knows if they knew that the glider would work in Mario Kart 7. So maybe it was a good idea to hold off until we had gliders. But seriously, this one? Why would you even need to bring back another Mario Circuit? Mario Circuit 1 was fine. Mario Circuit 3 just blows my mind. And it's still boring. They didn't even add, enemies. Like, they added pipes. I'm pretty sure they added pipes. But what are pipes gonna do if they're barely even on the track? What really should have been better so that it would be more um, harder or more entertaining would be if they, threw on a couple Goombas or threw in a couple Koopas, if they threw in a couple anything really to just make it more boring, make it more interesting, not more boring, less boring. Because holy, whenever I'm playing Mario Kart Wii, this is the one track I try my hardest to avoid at all times. 280 GBA SNES Mario Circuit 3. This one sucks. It honestly, you'd have a little bit of credential if you say this is worse than the original. But the only reason why I have it A above the original and B above Wii Mario Circuit 3, of course, because it's below it. It's because it, there's something to it that makes it feel better. I kind of can't explain it, but there's just something in me that feels like it's better. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Let's just move on. 279 SNES Mario Circuit 3. Now, the reason why I hate this more, well, less than the other ones, but more than the 278 tracks ranked above it, is simply because it's more disappointment that they would bring this back instead of even Mario Circuit 1, really, but more Mario Circuit 2. I'm a big fan of that track, as you're going to see in this ranking, but Mario Circuit 3 really brought down my hopes of the Booster Course Pass, and it really brought me down to earth at what I thought the Booster Course Pass would have been. Of course, the next track was Calamari Desert, so uh, at least now we're done with Mario Circuit 3. 278 DS GCN Baby Park. As you're going to find out in this video, I hate, and I use the hate very, very, literally. I hate the GCN remakes in Mario Kart DS. Most people would agree with me on that one. Of the three dumps that Mario Kart DS took on these GCN tracks, the worst is Baby Park in my opinion. Why is it the worst? Well, they scaled it up. There isn't any big items anymore, which isn't totally the track's fault, but more the game's fault, which there's still no big items. And plus you scaled it. Why would you scaled it up? And they took away 2 laps. This is horrible. Who decided this idea? I swear, if it was you, Nintendo worker, if you're watching this, if it was you, you you're not cool. I think you should get fired. 277 GBA Snowland. The reason why this is very low, or actually, compared to most people, it's pretty high. But the reason why I don't like it so much is for one reason. The screen shakes. See, look at it. It's shaking right now. It's annoying. So that's why I'm going to make you look at it for the next 5 seconds. Good. 276 Wii Luigi Circuit. The most boring track in Mario Kart Wii, and honestly, there's a case for it being the most boring after Mario Kart Double Dash. There's nothing to it. Literally nothing. There's not even a ramp in the middle of the road. Yes, there's one in a shortcut, but not even in the middle of the road. What's in the middle of the road? In the middle of the road, there is nothing. The only reason why this is higher is because it uh, makes for some good comebacks. 275 NS 3DS Toad Circuit. The reason why I think this is A, worse than the original, and B, in 275th spot, is it just isn't a good track. As for why it's worse than the original, because, again, it's more of that disappointment factor. Like, oh, why the hell would they bring this track back? I mean, I know why they would, because it's a staple of Mario Kart Tour, but, like, you have to wonder, that you have to feel disappointed, and that's why I've put it lower. So, yeah. 274 DS GCN Luigi Circuit. As I've already expressed, with me ranking DS GCN Baby Park so low down, especially um, compared to how good of a track it was in the original, you could probably tell that I do not like the GCN remakes in Mario Kart DS, and it shows with GCN Luigi Circuit, which was one of the best opening tracks. I am going to go out and say it. I don't know if I ranked it higher above on my ranking, but because I forgot, but this is going to be a surprise to me and you. But I think right now it's the best opening track because it's such a creative idea. If you're in first, how many how many tracks can you say, oh yeah, I got hit by a star from the guy in 8th? I don't think very many times you can say that. But when they scale a track up, There's like you could go all the way on the right, and they could be all the way on the left, and you guys wouldn't even interfere with it. In GCN. Obviously it's closer, so it's less of a chance that you will avoid them, which is just so fun. It's so fun being in first and getting hit by the guy in eighth. But yeah, in DS they scaled it up. That's really the only thing I can say that has brought it down. But it's such a massive thing that I had to include it at 274th, and in the first part, and in the worst tracks in Mario Kart history. We're already 10 minutes into the recording, so let's speed this up a little bit. 273, 3DS Toad Circuit. Bad track, boo, me no like, very boring, boo. 272, Wii Rainbow Road. One reason why it's so low down, overrated. I don't like it. It coincides with 271 being NS Wii Rainbow Road. Don't go all over me about how I'm on drugs or something because you like it and I don't. That means I am a bad guy. Think what you want. 270 DS GCN Mushroom Bridge. I've already told you how much I hate the DS GCN remakes, and I think most people also hate them. For Mushroom Bridge, they took every ounce of fun Mushroom Bridge had in the original, and DS was like, no, and then they threw it out the window. You can't go on the bridge. There's like a pipe at the start of the race you can't go into. There's no sidewalks. You can't go on the bridge. There's no mushroom cars. You can't go on the bridge. And yeah, you really just can't go on the bridge. Are there still bomb cars in that track? I'm not even sure. But yeah, no like. 269. GBA SNES Bowser Castle 2. The only reason why this track is lower than the original counterpart is for one reason and one reason only. The music sounds way too compressed. I know I really shouldn't be focusing on music. There are a couple things that I'm focusing on and not focusing on. Music does follow into the not focusing on category, but when it's basically the same thing, what is the final tiebreaker? The music. So aside from that, a decent track. 268 SNES Bowser Castle 2. It's not my favorite, but sometimes you got to deal with these types of tracks, and I'm so glad that hasn't been remade outside of Super Circuit, which I don't know if you would really count that. Not even Tour, but peace for this part. 267 GBA Boo Lake. Now, the only reason why Boo Lake is so far down because, well, let's put it this way. I bet you, not literally, but figuratively, that at least one person watching this doesn't like Neo Bowser City. They hate Neo Bowser City. Why do you think they hate Neo Bowser City? Do you think it's because they don't like tracks in the rain? No, I don't think that's the case. I think that they don't like Neo Bowser City because they're not good at it. And it's fine. It's fine. I totally understand hating a track you're not good at. And that's why I put Boo Lake down here because I suck at the track. I remember one time I was playing the Flower Cup, which is the cup it's in Super Circuit. I was playing it. I was having fun on Mario Circuit. I usually breeze through Mario Circuit. Boo Lake, I always have trouble on. I didn't even know what a cheese land was, so I had to go to time trials essentially to play it, which is crazy how bad I was at the track, which definitely did influence my ranking. Boo Lake at 267th, but don't worry, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe version is higher up, obviously. 266 DS Figure 8 Circuit. Don't hurt me, figure eight fans. I doubt there's very many. I did decide to rank this 266th. I am kind of unfortunate that it didn't end up placing higher on the list. Why is it so low down? There's nothing here. There is literally two turns in one lap around the track, 2 turns. That's it. So when you're done all 3 laps, you would have turned 6 times. 6. Every other track in the series, except for Baby Park, has more turns in 1 lap than Figure 8 Circuit does in 3. It is utterly boring. They couldn't even add at least like a ramp. I can understand the idea of a Figure 8 as a track, but why aren't there any Goombas or Koopa Troopas or ramps or... I know it's an opening track, but you could have made it at least more, memorable. No, you gotta put in freaking nothing. Whatever. Let's get into the final track of the episode. And for the last track of the video, 265 3DS Cheap Cheap Lagoon. Only by a hair's breadth did this track end up in the worst track video. Honestly, you could make a case that it was better than the track that'll be first in the next episode, the 264th track. And I can see it, but I think this one fell behind that one for one reason and one reason only. Pure luck, honestly. I do think Cheap Cheap Lagoon is worse than that track. I think it's just a bit boring. It is memorable, but it is a bit boring at the same time. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in part 2. Peace.